next big thing. I run with the wolves, always knew that I would. Put me to the test, yeah, I'm about to flex like no one ever thought I could. They don't look like me, I'ma show you my teeth. When I get the call, I'm coming for it all. I'll knock it out, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now say my name. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ready? Go. I'm coming out with a bang, going out on the next big thing. Everybody want my shine. If you want a piece, better get in line.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode 9 of the Business Blueprint. This week we have a special episode in regards to an event that we run every year. This year will be year number 5, and I have 2 of the founders currently, and the event is called Mon Mania. I'd like to introduce some repeat guests, Stephen Penrod and Tim Pitsky.
How's it going?
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys. Well, this is a nonprofit that I kind of got involved with the last couple of years. And why don't you start off by just giving the backstory to it and how it kind of came along and how it got its name and everything it has to do with it.
That's you.
You came up with the name.
Well, that was part
Tim's
of
been
it.
the creator. He's been kind of the creator behind a lot of it in regards. And then
Here, the
Steve
whole
really pushes things along.
Yeah,
though.
he just spitball ideas.
Yeah, great at spitballing ideas.
the whole thing happened because he called me and he goes, "I want a Barefoot. Do you know about this Barefoot race?" And it was Buckethead Barefoot race. And I was like, "Yeah, I know the guy that owns it." He goes, "Well, come down and ski with us. You know, blah blah blah." So I get down there, the wrong boats, like all this stuff, whatever. I'm like, "Dude,
Everything was wrong.
I'm like, you're not going to be able to run the race in this. Like, this thing barely runs while we're skiing on it, you know?" So I was like, call this guy, Mark. I'm like, talk to him. He owns N3. He's a big Barefoot nautique guy and like all this stuff. I'm like, he'll get you set up with what you need. So he ended up trading his truck. We did that. And then they're like, you guys should put on a race. So like, that's how it started. So I'm going to let him take over from that point because he was the one that started everything from there.
Yeah, well, it was Mark, because Mark was like, he starts pulling up his Google images and was like, look at this stretch of river here. You guys can put on this race. And it looks like you have a great marina right here. And it was actually the marina that Timmy and them keeps their, they keep
That's
their boat
interesting.
at.
I never knew it was Mark that kind of like set the race location.
Oh, he had his crayons out on a napkin. and
Wow.
He was pushing along how easy it was to do it. And it's like everyone will just show up.
It's the salesman in him.
Yeah, and
we all fall for the gray haired part, and we all think he speaks such soft words to us.
I hope he listens to this because he has ruined the last 5 years of our lives with this. But it's been great. It's actually been amazing. And so we started spitballing to do this race and how long to make it, and you know what event that we can kind of call it. And you know, they put a lot of these races on, or a few of these races on throughout the country. And if me and Tim were talking, and Jared Hoffman, one of the other founders, that if we were going to do this, let's do it for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be able to draw the crowd because of the marina that it was going to be held at and the facilities that Green Coves offers us, that we were actually going to be able to make this like an event,
So I'm definitely from year 1 to year 5, the race has evolved. So to let everybody know, this is a barefoot endurance race. So multiple teams coming from in and out of the country. All parts of the United States. And it's a collective group of guys that I've got to get to know over the last few years. Chirping Central. For all of them. This is a group of men that chirp nonstop, but they're great guys. Obviously, I'm sure the race has evolved since year 1 to year 5. Has the miles changed? Has the rules changed? Have things like what was kind of the evolution into the race as it's grown by giving out and giving back?
Well, let's see.
What was it wasn't 36. I know it's changed.
As far as the race went, 28 was the first year. We just went up and back.
Yeah.
And then I think we just ran it the rest of the way after that. Like race 2 on was the full 36 now.
But it's also evolved where, year 2, it was 2 heats going the same direction.
Right.
And then year 3, we're like, listen, let's give it, we've tried to like listen to spectators and people that are watching it, or even the guys that run the race. Like, how can we make this more fun for everyone?
Yep.
And that's when year 3, I think, it adjusted to going
We split
away from each other.
So everyone was starting at the same time. But I mean, like, I guess like the biggest thing, other than like the race thing, like, I don't know, some people that are listening probably have no clue what we're talking about. It's not barefoot racing like on a field. It's barefoot water skiing. So you ski with no skis on. But anyways, like, away from the race, it was more of giving back to the community was where we were trying to go with it. So like when we first started off, I think we raised like, it was like $5,000 or something like that. We were hooked up with MDA, like Muscular Dystrophy Association. That was a connection that Jared had brought to us because he had a nephew suffering from it. So they were kind of familiar with like how they did stuff, and like MDA had a thing like, hey, make your next event a fundraiser. So you basically just have like a link on there and you can direct donate. We collected the money and then made a generous donation to them. But we worked with them for the last like 3, kind of like the 4th year somewhat. We did somewhere with them. We did like the link online so people could donate directly to them. But we've kind of evolved more on the philanthropy side to creating our own community to like put that money towards. So like one thing we were doing was like at the holiday time, like we would go to Target and buy, like, I think last year we spent like, I think it was $12,000 on toys, or like $14,000 on toys at Target. And
it was fun for everybody. We got a little out of control. But I mean, it all goes to a good cause. I mean, so we brought everybody included in Mon Mania, like everybody who helps with swag bags and everybody that helps volunteers in the event. We all got together at Target and we brought the kids too and let everybody kind of go buck wild and grab things that they would like and enjoy to give to the kids and stuff like that. So that was a great time too.
I think we had to call citizens twice.
We did. We had to go through 3 different times of going through the credit card machine, and then we had to call. It was a whole thing. But I think to just touch on that for a second, it's the camaraderie of us inside Mon Mania too that has evolved, and getting everybody together during the holiday times, because we get to go to dinner after, and that's what this is. This whole thing's camaraderie. It's camaraderie of guys across the country doing barefoot water skiing. There's 4 to 5 guys in a boat. They pay for their own way here. They pay for their own expenses. I mean, this is a generous thing that everybody kind of does
for sure.
Raise money for families in need, for disabilities. And we've always tried to give back to families in need of people, whether it's trying to get involved in water sports or not. I mean, just families in need in general. And I think the camaraderie of it is a big thing to touch base on, that this is why we do this. This is why we want to be a part of this outside of just racing, like Tim said.
Yeah, if you go on like the social media, the Facebook, Instagram, stuff from Mon Mania, you can kind of see some of those donations that we give. We're getting better and better at recording that stuff and sharing it so people can actually see the families that want to be shared. There's certain families that don't want to be. And if there's families listening and you're looking to be a sponsor, you don't always have to be broadcast. So, but you can go on social media and you can see those videos of delivering to these kids and families that, that have disabilities and needs and could really use the help, especially during the holiday season, to take that stress off of those families.
Yeah. So going back to the year 1, so $5,000. How did that progress to year 2, to year 3, to year 4, to year 5? And obviously, I know being involved with some of the bigger companies, that's shifted too. We've gotten more direct to consumer over the years. But how much was raised in year 2? How much was raised in year 3?
I think if I don't mean to interrupt Tim on this one, but like between year 1 and year 2, we really didn't do a lot different.
Yeah.
But the one thing we did do in year 2 is we decided to find 3 or 4 families. I think we found 3 that year and gave to. And I think us going to those homes made all of us in Mon Mania was like, listen, we have to shift this thing into 3rd gear. Like there is families out there that are getting 0 or very little help and could really need it. And I think that year 2 is what opened up a lot of our eyes to, these kids and these families and even these parents, that just the joy when you could bring them a check that could help relieve all their holiday stress. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So there was a big jump, you would say, from year 1 to year 3 then, as opposed to like seriousness of the event.
Yeah, I think year one was like, $5,000 or $6,000. I think year two was like in a 12,000 or something. Year three was like 15,000. And then year four was the one that we really jumped up a lot on. But kind of like going back to like, the social media stuff, like you can kind of see like the interactions we do in some of the events that we hold. But like the website too, I know there's a link on there, and I think there's a link through social media too for anyone that hears this or knows about us that we are looking for candidates to donate to. So a lot of times we do all this work, and then once we have, funds or anything to donate back, whether it's, goods, whatever, we are looking for candidates to do that. So jump on the website. If you know someone, nominate them, we'll have someone reach out to you, and set something up. We're always looking for that as well.
So same thing with the website. I mean, we were just looking at it prior to getting on. I mean, you can go on there and become a sponsor. You can go on there and buy raffle tickets to the boat giveaway, which got started last year. That was an evolution to the, what's kind of happening with this. And that was a big thing. I really feel that kind of projected a lot from last year too, was giving away a boat to somebody, which, most people can't or wrap their heads around spending $12,000-$15,000 on a Barefoot boat. That's kind of all done. And, we know the headaches that can kind of go into getting those prepped and getting those ready and having them, pretty fine tuned. And, the website now, I mean, we're also looking for sponsors. We're also able to sell tickets on there for the raffle boat. So go check it out at www.monmania.com. There's going to be a lot of info on there for this year in regards to Mon Mania. So just for you guys personally, I mean, what you guys have been in from the very start. I've kind of really gotten involved, really hands-on more in year 4. I've been there through, I think, them all, but year 4, I was really more hands-on. But how has it evolved from you guys and like the meaning of it since 1 to 5?
I would say for me, just trying to establish an identity at this point.
Yeah.
Like we have a great event that we run annually. But it's where are we trying to go with it?
Right.
Giving back to the community, those types of things. And there's been some, talk about where we can kind of go in that. It's a little unfamiliar grounds at this point for us, but that's where I would say I'm kind of looking at is all right, how are we going to go out and find some serious donors that will donate to our cause, not just our event?
Yep.
So we were talking about maybe starting off something small, doing a weekend or something like that, and then see what kind of response we get, and then kind of go into it year after year.
Yeah, because I mean, I think we were talking even too, depending on, what money's raised and what money, whether we give it all away or whether we don't, or whether we pay for a weekend and teach people how to ski, or whether we teach people, do some stuff. I mean, obviously there's been a ton getting kicked around in regards to the evolution and constant evolving of the event. And for people that run events and have ever put on an event, it's very hard. I mean, this is a very, very challenging thing for one day. And that's whether it's getting the racers together or aligning through everybody's summer schedules and putting on, having the space rented, getting flyers, t-shirts, banners, social media going, websites, permits, raffling, it's just, there's endless amounts of things that need to get done. And, being a part of it in the last couple of years is really eye-opening in the sense of how much really goes into this and how much, it takes to then take all the money and give it all away, which is
every year is like starting a new business. It's you go
that's
into
a great
the process
analogy. 100%
of starting a new business from scratch, from everything you have to do.
So what's it kind of gone from you, Steve, from year 1 to year 5, and how you've kind of viewed Mon Mania year 1, just as a thought and idea to now year 5, where it's last year, I mean, I bet you there was 300, 400 people there.
Pretty close.
I mean, there was a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really eye-opener for me because I've never really been involved in anything, of this magnitude, So when we did year 1, I mean, I was going into this thing completely blindfolded, I was...
Yeah, I don't think any of us knew what we were really getting into.
I run a small construction business, and I'm normally dealing with a few employees and, to now having to handle, 30 volunteers and make sure everyone's happy with what they're doing at that event. And, we do this as a committee now. So it's a lot, it runs a lot smoother than it did in the very beginning. But My project or my projection of it is just kind of like what Timmy said. We've established the race, and we're working on establishing our name better in the charitable community per se. But be able to take it to the next step, to be able to do this year round for people.
Yeah.
It
also too, to put in perspective to people, we also race in this. Like we're also participants. So like it's not just like we're planning on putting this around. We also have to train and then get our bodies, and we're not getting any younger. Just so everybody knows, we're not getting any younger here. So like the training becomes it's a lot in itself, on top of also putting all the pieces together with everybody involved.
When you're doing the race, because almost everyone in the committee is on one team. We're all on one team.
Right.
We're sitting in the boat with text messaging going off from the bartenders to the DJ to the start boats to the turnaround boats, and like you're trying to send these messages, and you got the flag person saying 20 seconds, and you're like you're trying to send a text, and then you throw
can't
your
hear
phone
the
down
horn,
and
can't do this,
jump in the water and go. So it does become a lot, but it's worth it. I mean, if anyone gets the chance to come up and check it out, it's mayhem. It's fun.
So what is the date this year for Mon Mania 5, and where is it being held?
Well, technically it's July 20th is the race.
Yeah.
But so technically we did have like a weekend planned out. We had qualifying races set up for Friday. And, unfortunately we do have to rely on some of the community and the athletes to sign up. So like, that's a little unknown right now. So like if we do have a nice enough community that comes out to support us, like qualifying races Friday, the main event Saturday, and then like I think we were going to do like what's called like an outlaw race on Sunday. We did plan on having a ski show for the crowd and stuff, and there were some things that we were throwing around that we may do that we haven't announced yet for some more crowd interaction. But yeah, I mean, like it's at Green Cove Yacht Club, and well, like technically I guess it's Clarksville right there, but it's right on 10 Mile Creek. And we like, even like when he was saying like when we started and all that stuff, like everybody was just always like, yes. Like we went to the owner of Green Cove and we're like, hey man, when we do this event, like, will you like donate the tiki bar area, the overlook? Yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like our friend was involved in liquor sales. So she was a rep for a company. So she came down and met with him. Now he carries that there at their bar. So, I mean, like, it was just like the yeses turned into profitability
and again,
for
people. It becomes just like Steve said, it's a small business. It's a relationship building thing that happens year after year after year after year, and who's involved in a what, and who can connect who with who, and how does it grow? And that's kind of the thing is, yearly, if you're looking to grow something, it's, hey, how do we connect forces? How do we connect people with people that we know to grow it even further?
The thing is that it's getting a little nice is because we're at year 5, like Fredericktown Butcher, they're like, what do you need this year? So some of the people that have been with us,
and that's the same thing. I mean, we don't just, we're not looking for mega corporations as well too. I mean, we deal with all small businesses because we all three of us run a small business. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And we always want to give back to small business, and we always want to, incorporate small business and local business. That's always been the thing too, is, that town, that area, and we all, been going there for years. It's a small town.
It's a big thing for them.
Yeah,
like,
it's a huge thing. I mean, you get 300-400 people at a marina. I mean, and that goes to the bar afterwards, and then is a part of, just the festivities there. It's a big event for that place.
I mean, they're like, someone's here from New Zealand. Like, there's a guy here from Canada. Like, can you believe? Like. Yeah.
And Jason, they do a great job up there because they open up the pool. They brought in bounce houses last year. And so they made it super kid friendly.
It's definitely that. And that's, what you want to get more into is, for us and even me, it's the same thing of, I love seeing kids involved in this, and that was one thing like I seen this weekend as I was just sitting there watching is like, we're in that like weird in between stage of like, we're not old enough to be on cruisers, but we're like not the young guys out there partying till after dark at 11, still blasting music and doing that. So like there was going on this weekend, and I'm like, man, that's like we don't even know where the balance of where we're at anymore. We're just we're still trying to stay relevant is what it is. But, watching the younger kids, because I remember us growing up and all that stuff, like, knee boarding growing up and slalom skiing and then wakeboarding. And I mean, I didn't do any of that really. I mean, I did that growing up, but I mean, I was predominantly a wakeboarder with Tim and stuff. I didn't really start barefooting till last year, but you know, just seeing the kids in general out there every day, you know, of the weekend going hard from morning till night. It's great to see because it's, you know, in my regards, it's the best way to grow up. It's one of them things that people,
not just the weekends. Those kids, that one group of kids are out there all week.
Yeah, and it's a great thing to see and getting the kids involved in that type of stuff. But no, it's been an amazing event in regards to that. You know, so let's talk about the Barefooters just really in general for a minute. I mean, just the group of guys and who's coming from where and who's coming from what. Like, how did all this kind of start? Where do we go throughout the year too? Like, we do a couple
this without chirping.
Yeah, for sure. You know, so I mean, there is other races in regards to. So, what are some of the other races?
Well, I started off saying, yeah, you could do all the Barefooters. That's where you're alley. And you could tell the stories about the races. But I mentioned Buckethead earlier. That's kind of like where we got started, which is up in Ohio. Our race, we went to Foot the Chain, which was like a race that started a couple years. It's kind of like an event / race thing. It's like a relay.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of like the same stuff we're doing. He's putting on a music festival. His name's Tim Collette.
Yeah.
He's putting on a music festival. He runs that Pirate Life, that Safe Pirate Life or Clean Pirate Life. Yeah. He that's actually a really nice event.
That was fun.
He's doing a good job.
It was fun. There was a lot of skiers.
It's normally rainy and cold, so
it was cold. Yes, it was definitely cold
in Florida.
Yeah, in Florida.
And then the other one we went to was Dam to Dam, which was down in Austin, Texas.
And I think that's been the longest running one.
Yeah, but they
38
didn't do
years?
it last year. I think it was like it didn't run. So I think
it was. Well, that was because of the drought, though, right? Wasn't it because of the lake?
A little bit of that, but like one of the main guys that ran it for probably, I don't know, at least the last 10 years, relocated to Florida. And he had some involvement. He was like in transition a couple years ago, but like he was out of this year. But yeah, the lake levels have been dropping like crazy down there. So they kept changing the location.
I mean, that's also a challenge too, right? Is like we're up north. So like you could tell the amount of skiers. I mean, he reached out to like the World Barefoot Center in Florida and had like half of the team, you know, like people from like in the ski team from what's that ski show?
Cypress
Yeah,
Gardens.
I mean, they had Cypress Gardens skiers there. Like dudes are doing the chain of lakes backwards.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous. Like it's insane.
And the one was a kid.
Yeah.
That girl was skiing. She was like 14 years old. She was doing the lakes backwards.
That's what I'm saying.
Because she didn't want the rain to hit her in the face.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing.
Ridiculous. So, you know, it's challenging because we don't have as many skiers, you know, up north as you do down south. And you have Cypress Gardens, you have the World Barefoot Center, you have the epicenter of just water sports itself. And that becomes a challenge as well, which has been a nice team up with those guys who do come up from Florida and come to race our race. We go to their race, you know, we go to Buckethead, they come here and all that.
But there's a huge handful of like the Midwest guys, like, you know, Indianapolis, you know, the edge of Michigan, like,
Joel
Minnesota
guys.
Yeah, those guys are more Kansas and stuff.
Kansas, Austin, or Texas.
But it's pretty wild that, you know, how there's just like pockets of knuckleheads everywhere.
It definitely is. And, you know, we have a Barefoot chat and in a group text, and it's just absolute chaos. If you say something or anything, you just get chirped until you're just go silent forever.
You can't ask an important question.
No. It gets skipped.
And I hope each one of them listen to this, how much it hurts our feelings.
Yeah, it does. Thanks for telling me where to order my gas cap. I found one online.
Our boat was sinking at a race, and he was asking for help on it, and no one replied. They weren't even making fun of us. Like, just no one replied. Like, the boat was literally sinking. Yeah. And at a race, we had no clue where we are, nothing. Like, nothing. We got radio silence.
That was in Austin.
Yeah. The boat's not going. Is it hitting the ground? I don't know. It just doesn't want to. It doesn't want to get out of the water at this point.
And that's kind of the fun part of it with all the guys too. I mean, it's been a great group of, you know, guys to even meet and support. I mean, it's like I said, it's a challenge for everybody. Everybody's given a little bit to be a part of it, and we all support each other's races, which is nice. You know, we were able to help sell tickets at all the other people's stuff, buy merch from all the other guys at Buckethead. You know, technically do all that stuff, which is, again, it's the community. And it's a community that we're trying to build for Mon Mania just to get the word out into what this really is. And again, like Tim touched upon earlier, it's not just about barefoot water sports, and it's not just about water sports in general. The reason why you're able to continue to do something is you better love it. Like, it's hard. It's like business. You better be in a business that you love to continue, because you're going to get your ass kicked until the dawn of time. That's just the way that goes. But when you love it, it's not. You're able to absorb the punches and roll with it and figure it out. And that's what makes all this work is we love water sports, but we also love giving back. And that is two things. When you cohesively mix them together, you're able to come up with a great outcome. And that's one thing that's been an eye-opener for me being involved the last couple of years, is just regards to how much everybody really cares about giving back. Because you can go and donate money, and a lot of these bigger companies, I think people know, they have overhead, so they keep a lot of it, and then they give 10% out. So that's why we've kind of gone direct to consumer a little bit more, where we're able to give even a little bit further, in regards to that. So we had 5,000, 12,000, 17,000. So what did we raise last year?
It was like 48,000.
Yeah, it was right under 50. It was like 49 and change, 48 and change. It was
Wow.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean the raffle bow definitely helped out a ton, and then like we got a lot of support from everybody.
Yeah.
It might have even borderline broke 50, because when we were out handing out the checks, a few of the Midwest guys from Indianapolis actually called us while we were doing it, because we were shooting some live stuff, and those guys were donating money while we were there to give families of like the neighbors.
Yeah,
because we were we were at a family's house, and they're like, our neighbor up the street has a child, with some disabilities, and those guys called in and donated money, and we struck them a check right
as much
there.
as everybody chirps each other, and that's the fun of it. We all have giving and loving hearts, and we care, and that's at the end of the day, like, we just chirp each other because it's fun. But at the end of the day, we all take responsibility. We all know what we're here to do, and those guys show up
for sure. I mean,
show up.
We had to change parts in the middle of a parking lot, and those, you had guys from Kansas to Indiana to Florida that were holding flashlights and handing tools and helping, and
one
just
thing,
so everyone could race.
And one thing I think for the racing aspect, we've been trying to kick around some things too with, using Starlink to try and broadcast the race live. That's the trouble we have in some of these remote places, is you have no Wi-Fi, you have no cell phone service along 36 miles of the race, and you just can't live stream it. We've tried that. You go in and out, it cuts out, you miss parts of it. So again, when you're a spectator, you're only able to see a certain amount of the race. So we're trying to come up with some ways to, evolve and be able to let everybody see the entire race in full, because I tell people all the time, like, I did it for the first time last year, and until you really get out there and see the chaos that is going on, you just don't even have a clue. I mean, we were up at how far is the power plant from 10 miles?
12 miles.
12 miles. So that's the first turnaround.
No, it's 16.
Yeah.
No, right.
No, it's 14. I thought you and Dan went
14,
the whole way.
28. Yeah, because the first race was 28, so it was 14 up, 14 back.
Yeah, so that's the first turnaround. So we got up there. Everybody was coming. There was 7 boats up there coming in all directions. Dudes are power turning. Dudes are catching tows. Like, people were trying to hold. Mark's getting drugged through it all one-handed.
I can't believe no one got ran over.
It's just, I mean,
Can't say that.
but I mean, again, like, until you see certain stuff like that,
He was just kidding.
It's incredible in regards to like how it really is. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, and even to say, like, I mean, you and Dan, I mean, you did 14 miles right out of the rip.
Yeah.
I think there was another guy, wasn't there?
Mark Boyce.
Yeah.
Well, the first year we did it, when someone made it there, it was 3.
Yeah.
It was
Everybody
Mon
went
Mania
on the first
3.
rip.
And it wasn't even Dan's.
It was me. It was
I thought it was Maddock.
it was Nick Wentworth, and it was oh God, I can't remember right now.
The Canadian.
Yeah, Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne.
Wayne King.
Oh, Wayne King won the one.
Yeah. So all 3 of us.
And how old is Wayne King?
60.
Dude.
I think he's like
I watched that
62.
too. When we were down at Foot in the Chains, I'm gonna tell this. Him and Brett Keatle had this like little thing going back and forth. I watched Wayne King catch a toe to his face, hold on, tumble, turn back up, and then ski the rest of the lake. Some of those dudes have.
It's really this to put in perspective how hard and how long that is. Imagine going 50 miles an hour on your feet behind a boat with a rope 100 foot long, and you're going 14 miles.
Yeah.
It's incredible to think about. With not only just your feet still being there, but your back, your legs, your arms, your shoulders. It's a ridiculous
It'd be
feat.
like traveling from Pittsburgh to Finleyville on your bare feet.
Right.
50 miles an hour holding
The whole
on to a
time.
rope.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous thing to think about in the sense with those guys. That's the fun thing about it is when you get to meet some of them guys too. You know, like even Chain of Lakes, I got to ski with KSO, which was awesome, and then Nick and those like. There's some of them are so good that you just can't fathom being that good. I'm pretty good at water sports. I'm not even close. Like KO's so good. Like he's so good, you know. And it's nice because they try and help you along the way. They try and give you pointers. They try and, you know, you might not make it and get the flag or whatnot. But they're like, oh man, it's cool. Like just do this next time. You know, yada yada. Like they're not like, you know, giving you shit or like harping down your ass a little bit. They're supportive, like to help you and actually get better. And that's kind of like the part of it because you don't want to like crash in front of a dude or anybody who's like super elite. Because like, oh my God, they'd be so pissed. Like, I just ruined everything. But it's always been, you know, even when we did Ocho Alcho, like that was fun too. You know, that's kind of more of just a fun event in regards to like.
Yeah, you better not have, you can't go to Ocho Alcho with any types of feelings.
No, you went and sat in the boat. You got chirped so hard.
No, I was freezing.
It was so cold.
I wore a suit.
I was the first dude off the dock. The first guy off the dock.
Listen, the first year I did Ocho Alcho, they made me go like 9 times because they enjoyed me watching me crash.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they torture you. And we're from Pittsburgh and they're
well, the worst part about it too that I found out is like everybody rides their ass for way longer, and I don't do that. I ski like him because I ski with him all the time, so I just jam my feet in immediately. I'm the first guy up. I look over, I'm riding for like 200 yards. He isn't even up yet. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I crash, and they're like, well, technically, I'm like, well, technically nothing. This is insane. But no, they're just fun events in regards to that. But I mean, getting back to Mon Mania, I mean, you know, the weekend is to support families, to support the community, to support small businesses. It's giving back is in such a bigger form with that in regards not to just the families, it's everybody involved. It's the local businesses. It's you know, back to the community, back to the skiers, back to the, you know, the charitable events. And that's really what it's about. I mean, for us, it's something that we work super hard for. We don't need to do it, but it's something we love to do in regards to seeing people that need the help and need awareness and need, like, there's a lot of people that are left out to dry here. And that's one of the aspects of why we continue to do this and why we want to make it better. Because every time when you make something better, it's like doing something new in your business. It's going to suck. And then you're going to figure it out for a year. Then you got to get better at it again. And that makes it harder and harder and harder. And every year you want to put on a better event. And that makes it harder and harder and more demanding and more demanding. But you know, again, we have a great supporting cast and everybody that helps out with Mon Mania. I mean, it would not be
truly
possible.
unbelievable that, you know,
Would not
when we're
be
making the swag bags to,
Yeah.
you know, people handing out the meal tickets to the drinks to the getting the boats in to the starting buoys. Yeah, it's everybody just really jumps in and helps.
Yeah.
You know, we give many thanks to all those people.
No doubt. And you know, the swag bags are a cool thing, you know, giving back to the volunteers and the skiers. And we put together a nice package, which is great for that. A lot of people loved it last year in regards to, you know, the sweatpants and some of the swag that we give out to everybody.
Lee with Beam Centauri, she really puts it together. Her company and organization really help us out
No doubt.
tremendously. Great people.
No doubt. So in regards to just Mon Mania itself in general, I mean, we have the evolution of it is, you know, something that we continue to talk about and something that we continue to want to drive. I mean, we've kicked around ideas, you know, long-term things of potential ski school ideas and potential, you know, just getting people involved, you know, whether you are able to do water sports or you're not, but you know, ultimately, it's hopefully something we're able to dive into later in the future. You know, with the ski school, you know, we've kicked around that, us three, a lot.
Yeah.
In regards to that,
I think that would be fun. Just being able to bring people down that aren't fortunate enough to ever learn the water sports.
Yeah.
You know, introduce people to the water sports that they've never had that opportunity, or even, you know, we've kicked around the idea of the adaptive skis and being able to bring that type of opportunity to people in the Pittsburgh area. We know that guys that do it, you know, down in North Carolina, and there's some, you know, guys that do it down in Florida and stuff, but we'd really like to bring that up to here, up to Pittsburgh.
Yep. So how many teams are we able to have maximum with the way we run it? Are we able to do, is it 10 or 12 or what's the maximum you think we could
10's
probably?
kind of really maxing out. I think you could squeeze 12 in as long as I think there was enough experience.
Yeah.
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 So-
I mean, we talked about it. If it ever went bigger than that, we could run 2 heats.
Yeah.
But it's really hard. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of us out there doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like extremely niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, most people are like, oh, you barefoot? Like you run barefoot?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. I've never met one person that understands anything about it.
No.
Yeah, like I think we should change it to tubing. You know how hard that would be?
Yeah.
6-person
tubers.
6-person tubers, and you have to hold on.
The whole time.
You have to change every 2 miles, transition, trying to hold on to that whip.
Power turn the whip
19
and swing
second
back out.
change.
I think we should just go tandem. 2 skiers at a time.
That'd be brutal.
That's always fun the next day.
Yeah.
It gets fairly competitive between that.
If you race like that, it's like it doesn't matter. If you don't have 2 people that can go the same distance, like as soon as someone lets go, you got to let go because they got to come back and get you.
It's a good theory. You have ropes bouncing everywhere.
You will definitely have that. No, it's definitely been one of those things where it's fun in regards to seeing how much it's changed over the years. Because again, I mean, a concept and an idea is one thing, but when you put everything into action, it's another. And that becomes, okay, like we've talked about, how do you make it better? How do you do this? Okay, how do we keep people involved? Attention spans and things of that nature are very tough. And every year has its challenges, we moved the date around this year because it's always regularly late August, which becomes challenging too because of school and vacations and parents and this and that. And so, this was the first year that we moved it to the end of July, which again, we were thinking, that has now its mixed bags of, dealing with people's vacation times and dealing with other stuff that goes on there. So it's very challenging to put things together in the summertime. Especially around multiple people coming in from multiple states and people coming from, put together. It's just a challenging thing in general. So what have been some of the real challenges of putting this together every year?
They're racers.
Yeah. All of you listening, you guys, with your questions and your pictures of your trophies.
They do spread the trophy around the group text a lot.
I mean, look, I guess like realistically, what we have to say is like once we set a date, like we're having the event whether people are showing up or not. Like, if we're gonna be the only boat out there to ski, like we're gonna ski the race, but then we'll come back and we'll do something, for the crowd so that you know it is what it is. But I mean, but I mean, like at the end of the day, I mean, like it is hard to I don't want to say hard to communicate, but it's hard to plan for all these guys because we're talking about 60, 80 people here. You know what I mean? Like there's more than that can barefoot water ski, but not this. Yeah. So, we kind of have an open communication with like everybody that's in our market to an extent. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so like, there's other races, like you said, like school vacation.
Well, that was always been the challenge, right? It's like, okay, we have the other race. We kind of piggyback off of Buckethead. Do we skip Buckethead? We go ahead. Do we do this? Do we do that? Because again, just like Dam to Dam, the person who was running Buckethead kind of stepped back. Mm-hmm. So now they're in transition into doing a new person setting up Buckethead. Yeah. So now you're going to see how that event turns out this year. And then it's going to, okay, do we go back behind Buckethead next year or what do we do? And that's always kind of a thing of piggybacking of, when you're down in Florida, it's just a set date. Everyone's going to show up. Like, it's just what they do there.
Yeah, I think if, we keep pushing the idea of, we named Mon Mania and then we came up with that title belt. Yeah. And I think if we keep pushing the idea of, the belt goes to like all the winners, it helps guys, go from race to race to race. Not that they really care too much about it, but I think they care to send pictures at Christmas dinner when they're wearing the belt to rub it in.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to bother everybody. I mean, everybody's got a competitive spirit, right? I mean, that's why you do this kind of stuff. And it put in perspective, too, like Tim said, not everybody's set up for this. So, like, you might go on YouTube and look up World Barefoot Center and just see the trick skiing. Those guys mostly go, like, a mile and a half, and they don't go 48 miles an hour, and they don't go 49 miles an hour. Like, it's a different kind of sport. Like, endurance is a totally different challenge. You're going at a speed that's not normal. You're going at a distance that's not normal. You're pushing your body to an area that's not normal. So, I mean, you're even going to have an even more limited crowd of people who just can do endurance. I mean,
or that want to beat themselves up that much.
yeah. Yeah, I wrecked every run last year. I went like 9 times. I wrecked every run. I mean, I was incredibly sore. Like, it was ridiculous.
That was like damn to damn. They just like, Tim, just go again. Just go again. I'm like,
I didn't like.
I got back in the bed. I'm like, I can't go.
On our boat, there was like a
anymore.
bet. It was like a $10 bet per person, like who would cross the finish line. And I was like going to go again. I was like, I don't want to go again. I don't even want the fucking money. Keep it. I can't even fathom getting back in that water again.
That's the fun of it.
It is. And the challenging part is, when you get on, some of these teams, and we're used to barefooting behind our boats, which are barefoot boats. We have a table, we have a platform. You get behind a Malibu on like Chain of Lakes, you're in deep shit. There's no platform, there's no nothing. There's nothing to help you with the wave. There's nothing. You're skiing something totally different that you're not used to, which makes it challenging again. And that's kind of the fun of it, is you're always pushing yourself to a different level, and you're always pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. You're meeting new people, and that becomes something that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think we've all, you become friends with a lot of these guys, and you chirp them, and you pull their chains, and they chirp you back.
We started
really,
chirping
really
everybody
good.
this week on the group chat, and then everyone started leaving, and we had to add everybody back and change the photo back and apologize. Everybody was silent for a minute.
I feel like that's all I do is apologize. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry about everything. But yeah, no, I would highly suggest that everybody kind of go on the social media site of Mon Mania and, go visit the website, check out the opportunities that are there. If you can come out July 20th for the weekend, it's an amazing event. It's first thing in the morning, so it's not taking up a ton of your day. You can stay around for the raffle boat, drawing. We have food. We have swag on site for sale.
Chinese
auction, baskets, bar,
Yeti cooler.
Yeah, we have tons and tons of things that go on after the event, which, again, which is the nice part. While we're racing, all these things are happening behind the scenes, and we able to get off. Like, all this stuff is already set up, ready to go, which again takes a ton of people. If anybody wants to help volunteering this year, we always got a ton of things that we need done in regards to the race, before the race. So much going on. If you want to reach out to myself, Tim, or Steve, whatever you want to do, I mean, there's lots of opportunities here to get involved in regards to, just being a part of it in any way possible.
Yeah, we appreciate all the help.
Anything closing, guys?
I don't know. Unless you want to start talking race stories, that's about it. But.
We'll share a couple good race stories. Tell us one of your top race stories.
My top race, if I can go first,
Go ahead.
My top race story was in a practice. So we were practicing.
I think I know this.
And if you all know me, yes,
Let's talk practice.
Sometimes I just can't be quiet. I talk too much. And
say that
Jared,
about me.
I think Jared was skiing or Jared was driving. I forget who was skiing, but I was chirping about the temperature of the boat, and Jared shut everything down, and it became a full-out screaming battle in the middle of the Monongahela
While it was being taped.
while it was being taped. I think we have it somewhere.
Yeah, I think I have the footage.
7:00 in the afternoon or in the evening, and as we're screaming nose to nose like a bunch of idiots.
I love it.
And then we hugged it out.
That's the way it goes. Practice there should be a blooper reel about it, just to see how it goes down. Because you think you're like this cohesive unit, but like you're just not for a minute.
There's 5 type A personalities on the boat that all own their own business.
Left, right, 50 feet, 10 feet on the shore, his right, my left. If you're a driver, I'm going to tell you right now, don't ever drive. Don't ever be a driver of any boat. Don't ever. I always do it, and I get screamed at constantly. Constantly. I think I just love the abuse.
Transition.
Oh, my God. You're not doing it right.
It happens
Tim,
a
tell
lot.
us one of your stories.
Oh, well, I touched on it before, like the boat was sinking. So
And where was this?
this was in Austin, Texas. I didn't even realize how close Austin is to Mexico.
Yeah.
And we drove, at the time, he had a Nissan NV van, and we towed the boat. We left Friday. Was it Friday after work or Thursday after work? Thursday after work, like 6:00, with the van, with the boat in tow. And we actually had another group of guys that were with us. We ended up like splitting up at some point. You're just on your own. But it was like 22 hours straight. We drove all the way down there. So we get there. put the boat in the water. Like we're practicing. Like our buddy Tyler that skis with us from Ohio was there.
I was going to pause him for a second to make sure he was telling a boat story and not a travel story.
So we put the boat in the water, you know, we're like I said, like we're just kind of cruising around a little bit. We're like, all right, well, let's go like run the race or like see where it goes. So like I think like I skied and Tyler skied, and then like Steve went to go, and like we go to take off, and the boat's just like boom, like it's just like the bow's way up, and they're like, what? And I'm like, I don't know. So like I get out of the throttle, he comes in, try to go again, nothing. They're like, are you hitting the bottom or something? I'm like, I don't know. There's no depth gauge. We opened the hatch up. The belts were throwing water in the air. Like half of the motor was underwater. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, we're gonna sink. Like I was never in a boat that had that much water in it. And I'd been on a boat my whole life.
It was coming up through the floor.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like we're sinking right here. So
And which boat was this on?
this is Footloose. Like this was like our original race boat. It was like our only race boat. And so we're like, what are we gonna do? Like, I mean, the bilge pumps on, like it's not doing anything. Like water's almost coming over the back at this point. So we're like, dude, we gotta beach it. Like we just gotta run it up on the shore. So like we like went on this inlet and pulled the boat on. We started getting anything we could get in the boat to scoop water out of it. I think we bailed water for an hour.
That is why I ran around a farm.
Yeah, he like went up someone's random driveway. I'm like, dude, you're in Texas. You're going to get shot or something. Like these people don't just like let you walk up here. He was trying to find a hose so we could like siphon water out. But yeah, like an hour of bailing water. And like what happened was we had like there's a dripless. Like it's basically to hold the water out of the boat over the drive shaft. And the center of it blew out. So like we literally had like a 1.5 to 2 inch hole with water just rushing in the whole time. So like we finally got it down to where we could like see the water coming in. So like we've got enough water out of the boat. Like bilge was on, and we called our friends and we're like, dude, back the trailer down the launch ramp right now, which was 150 feet long.
Did we pull the drain plug? I think Doherty told us to pull the drain plug so the water would transfer in then out.
Yeah, I was like, no. So, but what we
Great idea.
The one thing we did try to do is we took the hose inlet off of the raw water pump.
Yeah.
To try to suck it in, because if you turn it on, it works. It'll suck the water out, but like it wasn't working either. So we just kept back to bailing water. But yeah, like we finally got enough water out of the boat and like drove it back as fast as we could, and literally like right onto the trailer. And up, and then we worked in the parking lot for
Till 8 o'clock
5 hours. Like the race meeting was like we literally finished the boat, backed it back down the water, made sure it worked, and then put it back on the trailer and went to the race meeting. So
when you say meeting, we mean bar.
Well, but that's
where the most of the race
registration,
meetings are.
whatever. It was at a bar, but yes.
That's how most of them are.
Yeah.
That night's interesting too, but like that's a whole nother.
I mean,
that's a different
the
podcast.
thing about the sport is it becomes very addicting to you. For some reason, like we all have this, we all race to buy all the boats. So
If we're getting into this chapter, this is Mark Doherty's doing, and I hope he listens to this, because he has created a frenzy.
So just per se, there's like 4 of us, even just live in like the vicinity. We have like 9 boats.
I think I did count them. I think there was 9.
Like it's ridiculous.
Within
And
like
most of the time, only 5 run.
There's maybe
Yeah.
2.
That's the thing.
I don't think any of them work. Well, yours works pretty good.
You bought a unicorn. You and McMillan both found a unicorn.
Yeah. He got a great deal on that last one.
McMillan's is about as nice as yours.
Yeah.
Those
He got a
things were
smooth deal on that
spotless.
one. He got a great price.
He might have got a better price than you.
He did.
But
You talking about that 2001 where he bought the center drive?
The
That
blue
did-
one,
yeah, he
the
bought it for
navy
$9
blue.
grand. I think he got dirt cheap.
I hope he can listen to this.
Maybe he
$9
does
grand.
too.
I'll buy it off you.
I think
want
his teammates mad at him for buying.
I'm tapping out.
I'm sure.
But no, it's definitely one of them things where, you know, becomes an addictive thing. Like you know, I always tell people, like, why you have so many boats? I'm like, I don't know, I look at them like hot rods. Like, I don't know, you just use them. We use them though. I mean, we beat the shit out of them. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, we were talking about today, like, you know, moisture and this. I mean, you know, they're like, oh, you don't use them boats that hard. I'm like, dude, they run at 5,000 or 40. They run at least 4,000 RPMs all the time. Like all the time, and they're hauling a skier and they're pulling somebody behind it. Like they're getting the shit beat out of them. And they were born in some were born in 1984. Like they're not young. Like these are old boats. Like that's the thing. Like they don't even like, I guess Nautique tried to make like a crossover boat, but like it only goes 42. Like,
Right.
and you pay $100,000 for it. Like ours are like 12 grand. They all do 47.
Yeah,
But
no
they
matter
break
what
all
you
the
do.
time.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Yeah.
47. These things are.
So hopefully we have a new motor going in, a new race boat this year. Hopefully. Shh, top secret.
Yeah.
Secrets.
What the fuck's. I can't swear.
Yes, you can.
Say whatever you want. But no, I appreciate it. Anybody, go check out monmania.com. Check out the socials of Mon Mania. We're selling raffle tickets on there. We have raffle tickets, Venmo. So we have electronic raffle tickets this year. $50 again for the same raffle tickets. So what
Bees
boat-
Graphics swag?
Yeah,
is
Bees
open?
Graphics swag
Yeah.
for sale online. We got a lot of cool stuff on there. Reach out to each one of us individually. We'll be able to put you wherever you need to be. So what boat are we raffling off this year? What's the year of the boat?
1984.
Yeah.
1984.
Direct drive.
Direct drive. So it's got decals done. What else has it got done to it?
New
What else?
interiors in it.
Heated seats.
Yeah. The motor was all gone over. You know,
Yeah.
Everything mechanically good is really good on the boat. It's a really solid boat. It's whoever is going to win is going to get an amazing.
And to
boat,
put it in
for sure.
perspective for like people, I mean, you know, you
It's
have
got a
ch-
purple engine. You're gonna
Yeah,
love it.
which is you gotta love that. But I mean,
called?
at the end of the
What's the
day, I mean,
name?
you have a chance to win a $12,000-$13,000 boat for $50, and that's the cool part about it. And you're giving every dollar of this goes to a great cause. None of this goes to any bullshit. It all goes to families. It all goes to giving back. It all goes to the next year's event. It all goes to a great thing. So we appreciate all the support. We appreciate everybody looking into it. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to any of us.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Get us some donations and go visit us on the website, and we'll see you at the event.
If anybody has any sponsors, anybody wants to sponsor this year, reach out to us, be a part of the event. That'd be great. All right, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
See ya.